What's up, food fanatics, and welcome to another video. I'm walking on a random alley here in Istanbul, going downhill, trying to not trip, and today is going to be a special episode. I want a meaty plate of kebabs with bread, with lots of veg, and I'm going to take you along for the journey. Let's eat. Okay, now the basic situation in Istanbul recently has changed. You cannot sit in the restaurants and eat. Everything must be takeaway. You can't dine in, and everything is kind of shutting up earlier in the day. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab a bit of food. I wanna find a little spot on one of these streets. We're gonna go, we're gonna set up the camera, and I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna let you know how good the food is. Cheers.
A few moments later.
Yo, yo, yo. Okay, so grab the food. The thing is, I couldn't film inside the restaurant. Let me take this off. I couldn't film inside the restaurant because it was pretty awkward, and it's around 10 degrees. So eating on the street is also not ideal. I'm out of breath. So basically, we are gonna take this, head to my apartment where the heat is on. It's warm, quiet, doesn't smell like pee, no cars. We're gonna eat, I'm gonna unbox this, and I'll be showing you what's in the boxes. I'll catch you with you guys in a bit. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for being understanding. I'm back home now. My hands are warm. Runny nose is gone. The food smells heavenly. I want to dig into it. I want to even unbox it on camera here. Just because of the way the current situation is in Turkey, we cannot sit in restaurants and eat. I don't want to be eating at the streets. It's around 10 degrees or so, so it's quite cold. I feel like I won't enjoy the food as much. So I definitely would appreciate your patience if you guys are able to just understand kind of what's currently happening and be cool with it, and you know, stay in tune with the channel, because as soon as some of these restrictions are lifted, I'm definitely going to be back out on the streets, in the restaurants, filming over there, filming, you know, how the restaurants are set up and such like that. For example, the restaurant where I just ordered this food, I couldn't exactly film what's happening in the kitchen because they had put up a barrier. That way you stand at the front of the store and you order, you don't really kind of go into it and such. That way they keep, you know, the social distancing requirements in place. So without further ado, this channel's about food. I'm hungry, you guys are hungry, you want to see what I've got. Let's dig in. The first thing, let's unwrap this. Let's see, let me take out some of these items. Ah, this is still warm. I'm so happy. That was one thing I was worried about, is that if the food gets cold. And that's why I didn't want to eat it on the streets. Oh, this is very hot. And then we've got this container that's got a bunch of stuff in it. I don't know what this is. Let's open it. Let's see. Oh my God. They've really like made this difficult. Let me, Oh, so we got, oh, nice few little tiny goodies. I didn't order this. I think this is included. Oh, we got a salad too. And then some more salad. Oh, these guys are so generous. Whoa, let me unbox everything, put it on plates, and let me show you what I got. Okay, everyone, now here's what we got. First thing, we have the yogurt drink, Ayran. You guys have seen it before on this channel. Very common in Turkey, the Arabic world, the Caucasus. Next up, what we have is a bit of a salad. Then we have another salad. This one is more dry. Then we have a plate of kofte, which is raw ground meat with some spices, with some herbs. Then what we have is the lahmachun, which is a flat bread with a ton of meat inside. Whoa, take a look at this. impressive. And then we have this gigantuan plate of kebab, barley, onions, lettuce, peppers, tomatoes. You know how they do it in Turkey. And then finally, we have this warm, super fluffy, flat bread. I'm ready to dig in. I don't know about you. So the first thing I want to start off, I'm gonna take a sip of my ayran. As always, you must. Let us do that. Let me open it. Salty, sour, you know how it is. Gets you going for the food. First thing I want to do, I'm gonna grab a bit of this lahmachun. Oh my god, it's massive.
That's what she said.
The aroma of it, you can already smell the ground meat. You can smell, you know, little chunks of tomatoes. You can smell a bit of the pepper, and then, you know, just some various spices that they've put in. It's very soft, and it also feels very moist in my hands, and it's still warm. The outside looks a little bit crispy. We've got a few edges that are just extra toasted. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wrap into like a little sandwich, and I'm gonna dig into my first bite. Wow. So good. So yummy. At the restaurant, they asked me if I wanted it spicy. I told them spicy. So you can taste a lot of the meat. It's also very spicy, and it has a various array of different spices that season the meat. So basically I can taste a bit of black pepper, obviously some salt. I can taste like a little bit of cumin as well. It's absolutely delicious. The bread is very crispy as well from the surface, but it's also like very moist. It's not over toasted, but then on the edges, you can see that it is toasted. And then there's more than enough tomatoes, so it has that tomatoey taste to it. But you're not tasting chunks of tomato. It's just the flavor of the tomatoes in it. So I'm gonna go in for another bite here. Wow. So I'm just gonna wash it down just with a bit of ayran. That way it neutralizes the taste of the spice. It's very good. You taste a mix of vegetables. There's little just flakes of green peppers in there. Super yummy. Very good. It's well loaded with meat. It's such a simple food. I want to say you can take bites of it. It's very light, but it's so flavorful because it's a mixture of, you know, onions from the looks of it, and then as well it has like onions, and you guys can see some peppers. That's the green stuff you're seeing, and then you see like little flakes of the red peppers that they've thrown in, and then you have the tomatoes, and it just creates this insane aroma and mixture that bursts with flavors inside your mouth. It's absolutely delicious. I'm just gonna take in the last bite. So good. Definitely when in Istanbul, you wanna go for the lahmachun, you wanna order one. They're quite cheap. It's almost like maybe 6 to 7 lira, so $1 or $2. You get this flatbread filled with different veg. You got the onions, the tomatoes in it, you've got the green peppers, and then they've obviously seasoned it and spiced it, and then the meat is so good. And as you can see from this, they didn't skimp out on it. They really do fill it quite a bit. So it's just such a cheap, quick to go snack that's absolutely delicious, and most importantly, they do it fresh. They always prepare the lahmachun right in front of you. They throw it in the oven, and then they give it to you warm, hot. You gotta wait for a few minutes to eat it, or else you're gonna burn your mouth. But when you do, the flavor is unexplainable. Now, I wanna dig into my next thing. This is the raw meat with lettuce, and then we have a bit of lemon. So what I'm just gonna do here is I am going to basically take a bit of that lettuce, and I'm gonna make my like little own sandwich with it. And let me see if I can show you here. So we're just gonna get that lettuce, and we're gonna fill fill it with the raw meat, and then this raw meat is also mixed with like bulgur wheat. Absolutely delicious. And then I want to squeeze a little bit of lemon on it. Now I've got it in my hands. You guys can see it here. I'm gonna go in and let's see what this tastes like. It's very basic. The lettuce is not so flavorful. And then you have, you know, the raw meat mixed with bulgur. It's spicy, but it doesn't have actually a lot of taste. And then it's a little bit sour because we squeezed a bit of lemon on it. I'm just gonna go in for my second bite. Oh, it's really spicy. Like, that spice takes a while to kick in, but when it does, it absolutely like hits you in the mouth. But it's not spicy like with some other countries, you know, like Indian food, Thai food and such, but it's spicy nonetheless. It's very grainy because the minced meat is mixed in with the bulgur, so you see these little grains that are absolutely coated with the meat. A little bit on the chewy side, but then the main taste it has to it is just, it's like this little blob of grains that ends up being spicy. It's good in that sense, but it's just a quick snack, not, you know, not a staple of the Turkish cuisine. Next up, what we've got here is the Adana Kebab plate. It looks absolutely delicious. It's massive, it's heavy. We've got the 2 kebabs here. We've got a bit of barley, then we've got some green peppers, some tomatoes, lettuce, and then what we have over here is the onions, and they're covered with sumac. Now, while I eat this, I'm gonna be eating it with some fresh, soft bread, and just for some variety, I guess, I've got a bit of a salad. Let me see if I can show you guys without tipping it over. Absolutely. I am ready to dig in. Okay, now for my first bite, what I've got over here is a big chunk of meat with the green peppers and then some of the onions and the fresh bread. The bread is very fluffy in my hands. I am absolutely ready to dig in. Whoa, it's so good. So yummy. This is very smoky, the Adana kebab. There's little chunks of seeds inside of it from what looks like, I guess just mixed with like some bulgur and such like that. And then it's spicy. It's a little bit spicy, I have to say. And then on top of that, what we have is the onions that are kind of coated in sumac. These give it a lot of flavors, and then obviously in the typical Turkish cuisine, we have the green pepper. It is so yummy. What I want to do now, I want to go in for another bite, but I'm just going to use the fork, and I want to grab a bit of the barley in my next bite, and let me see if I can show you guys what's in it. I'm going to dig it into a little bit of the onions. Wow, this looks insane. Look at this. Wow, it's so good. The meat is so tasty. It's spicy, it's smoky, it's very well seasoned. It gives it a lot of flavor. It's a little bit on the chewy side. It's not very tender. And then with the barley, it gives it the contrast and texture. And the barley, I almost want to say it's very fluffy and starchy. That's how I would describe it. And then with some of the onions, it gives it that whole different flavor with the sumac all in your mouth, guys. It's absolutely delicious. Okay, for my next bite, we've got a bit of that bread. I want to get a very good chunk of the meat. And this one I want to have it with some tomatoes. So let me cut up a piece of the tomato. And we've got this massive, gigantic bite. Let's try to one-time it. Wow, that bite was loaded with flavor. The onions, the tomatoes, the meat is so smoky, so flavorful, so chewy. The mixture of tomatoes, onions, and the meat Absolutely delicious with the pepper. It gives it that bit of spice. That's what I love about the Turkish cuisine. It's absolutely full of different little ingredients and vegetables that just come together very nicely in a natural way. And then on top of that, they don't hesitate to use various spices on their vegetables to just give it that extra flavor. Absolutely delicious. And then the other thing I want to say is the barley seems to be cooked and covered in some kind of a curry, I almost want to say, or turmeric or something, which gives it one hell of a flavor. Wow. It's very light, it's very chewy, the bites are big, it's quite grainy, it's a little bit starchy, so delicious. And then on top of that, what we have is this charred tomato, if you guys can see. Let me have it with just a bit of the barley. So juicy, so flavorful, but it's not a very tomato strong taste. It's rather subtle, and mixed with the barley, it gives it that very filling feeling. And you know, that change in texture, you know, the barley absorbs the tomato juice as you're taking these bites. It's absolutely delicious. I've got a bit of the kebab here. Let me dig in. Let me just I'm gonna take a piece, as you guys can see. And it absolutely falls apart when you kind of, you know, stick your fork into it. Ooh, look how much onion we've got. I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna put it with some lettuce. Wow, massive bite, let's go. Wow. You can taste the smoke from the coal which they grilled this on, and the lettuce, they've squeezed a little bit of, you know, lemon juice on it. Makes it just a little bit sour. And then the onions are not as strong as usual because they've covered them in the sumac, and it's just, oh my god, it gives it that like aroma, that taste. It's absolutely delicious, guys. They gave me more than enough bread, I want to say. I still got a lot of bread here, even though I'm full from this, just because it is filled with barley, and I already had the lahmachun. It's so delicious. And even this, look how much veg we still got. So obviously they are very generous. They overload these dishes with vegetables and breads and barley, and they make sure that once you're done eating, you're absolutely full. And that's what I love about Turkey. I really hope you loved this video. I'm just gonna wrap up the food here and I'm gonna finish the rest. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you again for your patience with regards to what's happening with the situation in Turkey. I can't wait to go back to shooting in restaurants, eating, you know, meeting the waiters and such. But until then, we have to improvise, we have to adapt. Maybe on a few warmer days, I'll do a street food videos whereby I'm eating on the streets. That way I can show you more of, you know, what Istanbul's all about, what the food looks like, and just the general atmosphere. But let's wait for that sun to come out. So until the next video, guys, take care.